This is Dustin Wallace. He's 39 years old, and he's been diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. He's never smoked a day in his life.
My parents weren't smokers, and I'm relatively young, and usually these things would be in someone who's a little bit older. The doctors also, they didn't really have a good explanation of where this could have come from.
The minute he called me and told me he was in the emergency room, I knew that, I could feel like the ground shifting beneath my feet in a way. I just knew that our life wasn't gonna look the same.
Utah's a unique state in the sense that we have the lowest smoking rates in the country. Despite that, the number one cause of cancer death remains lung cancer. Kind of a paradox to some degree.
Each year, more Americans die of lung cancer than from colon, breast, and prostate cancers combined. Smoking is the number one cause of lung cancer, but there's another major risk factor that increases the risk for non-smokers like Dustin, and not many people know what it is. You can't see it, you can't smell it, but it's always there. This isn't a riddle, it's radon.
While we don't know what caused Dustin's lung cancer, there's a possibility that it could have been radon in a variety of places where he's lived.
It's nearly impossible to prove if a specific case like Dustin's was caused by radon, but researchers and scientists can say for sure that radon does cause lung cancer.
Radon is still a major carcinogen that we can measure, we can fix, and we can eliminate.
Let's clear things up. First, we need to understand where radon comes from. Radon is an invisible, odorless, radioactive gas. That's radioactive as in radiation. The radiation comes from the breakdown of uranium in the earth, and it occurs naturally. Radon gas seeps into the basements and lower floors of our homes, schools, and workplaces. These buildings can trap the gas and keep it inside. And there's another problem. As our buildings become more energy efficient, they've also become more airtight, making it even harder for the radon gas to escape. If radon gas gets trapped in your home, it would be almost like living and sleeping in a smoky bar. Any measure of radon isn't good for us because exposure to radiation damages our cells. Thankfully, our damaged cells are built to repair themselves, but too much exposure can disrupt that process. Cancer, at its most basic level, is the replication of broken cells. Radon levels are measured in picocuries in the United States. The EPA says people with homes that measure higher than 2 picocuries should be concerned. Those whose homes have levels higher than 4 should do something about it as soon as they can. And at this point, you might be wondering if you've been exposed. Thankfully, tests are simple and inexpensive. This is Eleanor Diver. She's the radon coordinator for the state of Utah. She says sometimes people don't actually want to know their radon levels.
We see it all the time, unfortunately. People don't want to test. Ignorance is bliss. I think that they would rather not know. They don't want to then feel guilty.
Sometimes we think that what we don't know can't hurt us, but it can. Unlike gases like carbon monoxide, which will kill you immediately, it can take years, even decades, for the damage from radon to turn into lung cancer. Radon testing is also hard to enforce. Utah, for example, has no laws or regulations about radon. That means when you buy or build a home, there's no law requiring that you or the seller test the home's radon levels. Daycares, schools, churches, and community centers aren't guaranteed to have been properly tested either. Utah isn't the only state with a lack of education and a lack of action. But this isn't a story of corruption, just ignorance. If you test your home and find you have high levels of radon gas, it's never too late to fix it. You can install a ventilation system, and once you start clearing the air, your body will hopefully start to repair itself. It's simple, but it's a decision that needs to be made now.
It seems like a small step to take to avoid tragedy. That sounds like a dramatic way to put it, but if my husband passes away, regardless of what causes lung cancer, that will be a tragedy for our family, and I wouldn't want anyone else to go through that.
Even though we can't prove, where my lung cancer came from, they have done studies and they can prove that, radon does cause lung cancer. If it can avoid, going through what I have to go through right now. I've had a brain surgery, which took me out of work for a long time. I've had radiation on my on my brain. I'm losing a bunch of hair on the back of my head.
You can tell.
You probably can't tell on the camera. And yeah, radiation on my shoulder, and now my shoulder is a lot more sore than it used to be. So if you can avoid going through that for, you know, the small cost of having to have your house mitigate, I think it's worth it.
Thanks for watching this video. We hope you learned a lot about radon. And after spending months researching radon, I asked some of my colleagues to test their homes. Check out this video to see their results. And if you want to learn more, check out the story links in the description below.